And here we go, setting it up and going live. Posting our caption and pinning the comment, and I did it! Yay, it's all set up! I didn't go crazy. Hello! Hello and welcome to another night of Stay at Home and Disney, my nightly live stream where we stay at home and get excited about Disney stuff. Today we will be joined by, Neil is getting drinks ready, Skull Rock Studios, and we've got Jaqi Rabbit coming on to talk, oh, here comes my drink, to talk and to live draw with us. So that's always fun. We just finished rewatching Zootopia, which is a movie that we didn't need to rewatch, but we love it, so we watched it. We have rewatched every single movie that we're talking about on the show, just so that it's like super fresh. But a lot of them have been like favorites, and like Sleeping Beauty. We didn't need to watch Sleeping Beauty. Hey, here's Jaqi, and let's add her. There it goes. Let's see if Instagram cooperates. Yes!
Yay!
I'm so paranoid. I don't know if you were here the other night when it wouldn't let us go live with Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you had to do it the next day.
Stressed every time now.
It doesn't want people to have fun. The fun police Instagram.
I think after this, you and I need to take like solo photos in front of like solid white walls or something so that we can like put them together.
Meld them together. I have never put a closet Disney bound together so quickly because I turned to Felicia. Felicia's home.
Half an hour ago.
Yeah, and it was like Felicia was home, and so she's like, "Wait, you have a baseball cap, right?" And she's like, "Yes." And I'm like, "Can I wear it?" And she's like, "I don't know." She's like, "On live," and I'm like, "It's for Zootopia. It'll be fine."
And she's like, "Oh."
So.
I just realized my hair is being very uncooperative, and I'm gonna put it in a little ponytail. So the reason I was like 2 minutes late setting the stream up was I was like going into my room to grab my tripod, and then I went, son of a bitch, I have a necklace for this, and then I had to go through every jewelry container I owned, and then I finally had this moment. I was like, it's in a box. It's in a cardboard box. I know what box it's in, and then I like just dove down, found it, and I was like, yeah. So I got my little Nick Wilde necklace that Neil made for me.
Absolutely perfect. And if we do not go to the parks one day with these outfits, I will be very upset.
Well, so I want to redesign this dress as a crop top so that I can wear this. So let me show you the pattern.
All right, guys. Welcome to our nightly chat where we talk about Disney things. I don't know where Sarah is, but we're going to get started. We're talking about Zootopia.
Why are you like this?
Oh, did you already do that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, it's been nice talking to everybody. Have a great night. Wash your hands.
We just did the whole
Oh, too far. I'm sorry.
Wow, he's in like full-on host mode right now. I love this. Oh, look, my little bald spot's filling in where wigs took my hair out.
Oh no!
Yay! It's so exciting.
I mean, yeah, it's good. You wear wigs slightly less.
Honestly, not really.
Well, for shorter amounts of time, I guess.
That's true. Yeah. Well, I'm also, now that I know that happens, like I'm finding better ways to put my wigs on so that doesn't happen. Like it's happened a few times. It's
super gluing it to your forehead is not good.
It's combs. It's combs that always does this to me.
Okay. I was like, you're not actually using super glue, but I've also heard spirit gum, like people who do the they'll do that with the lace fronts, and it will also be really like abrasive and take things off. And
yeah, it's just way too
you got to be careful.
But like in my head, I'm like, it's fine. If I go bald, I've got all these wigs.
I mean, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say, I'm like, I've thought about like shaving my head and it would just be that much easier. I'm like, my hair is really, really expensive. This color comes from a salon and I'm not cutting it off. So.
No, Neil said he would help me touch up my hair in the next like day or two. Mm-hmm. But I've been using conditioner to maintain it. And
yay, quarantine.
It's faded, but it's not as bad as it would be if I hadn't been doing that. But like if I just do an overtone like now, it'll at least stay longer.
I'm lucky that mine was so vibrant, and I've been really, really, really careful in slightly disgusting and not washing it that often, so it lasts until after all of this is done. Because I would do overtone, except for she went in and put like foil after foil after foil, and there's oranges and yellows and pinks and stuff. And so if I did overtone, it would just like blanket over it. But your color, yeah, your color is beautiful. And I don't know why I didn't think that you would do Nick because of the hair. I was like, oh, she'll do Judy because like she's the star. And then I was like, and you showed me the outfit of Nick. And I'm like, fuck. Okay, what am I doing?
Why I texted you, because I was like, wait, no. I know Jackie.
No. Judy is not the star. Clawhauser is the star.
If I had donuts, which Felicia's been begging for donuts, it would have been the perfect episode to do that. But no, we're still in keto mode, and I said I would be in keto forever this long this lockdown would go. So we'll see.
I mean, that's good. That's good. Good on you.
I'm trying to shift back on, but like panicked and ordered McDonald's at 3 a.m. So
that happens. We did get miracle noodles for the first time though, so we're really excited to try those.
I'm obsessed with them. I'll send you all sorts of like what we've been doing with them.
Please send me recipes.
The biggest hack we've come up with recently is if you just buy Velveeta cheese. And then I think you
like
cooked it in
the
pan.
mac and cheese on that. Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Hi Sam.
Cook it in a pan, not a pot, because otherwise the miracle noodles put off a lot of. Doesn't matter. We can talk about this later. This is not.
We'll do it.
How to cook your.
We're just excited because we haven't talked to you in like a week.
Yeah, we need to actually like FaceTime and stuff. But yeah, do you guys want a sneak preview? I did I'm doing the 6-character fan art thing, and so I just my warm up was getting another one done.
Okay.
So let's turn this camera around.
And also, let's do shots.
SPD.
Oh, nice. Yes.
I don't have a shot. Hold on. Oh, no. You're coming with me to our bar cart.
It's happening.
The bar cart.
All right. We'll pause the shots.
Sam says Zootopia, not too far away.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not noodles. They're soba noodles. But we just got
they're not soba.
They're something. It starts with an SH.
They're magic. That's what they are.
They're magic. Yeah, they're basically just made of fiber.
Magic.
Thank you, Deb, about the tie. Neil made this out of pressed beads.
Forever ago.
Like a million years ago.
I love it.
Backwards. I could have worn it either way.
I think you did, yeah. I mean, it looks
Neil,
good.
I want one.
Nobody can tell on it. So you already did a warm up of one character. Are you still doing the Animal Crossing crossovers?
I don't know. Are we going to do Animal Crossing crossovers? I feel like this is an appropriate subject, but at the same time, I can always switch it up. I did. I was going to show a sneak preview because I got it done, but didn't post it yet, and I was going to post it afterwards. My the 6 fan art stuff. So I did Kita.
Oh yeah. Okay, nice.
Oh my god.
So I've been practicing with lighting and really trying to do color quickly because that's something I really struggle with. I take way too long on my commissions and stuff. I'm like, I need to get faster. So yeah.
That's awesome. It looks great.
We should do it an Atlantis night because we love that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I need to see. I think Aliki worked on it.
Oh, nice.
Thank you. Thanks. Yeah. She came together really quickly, so I was rather proud. And as Esmeralda came together quickly yesterday too, so I'm really excited for where this is gonna go.
You're in a good zone.
Yeah, and keep it that way. I think really just doing those practices and stuff over and over, and like this has helped me so much. Where like I'm getting more in the tune of things, so I can get faster and looser and not get so much in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is the loose theme connecting those two characters unrelated to what you're doing, or are there going to be more underrepresented Disney heroine type characters?
Ironically, I'm just going over, like, I posted into my story, and it should still be up, where I was taking a request for the fan 6, and then when I posted Esmeralda, I didn't even realize that it still said, give me 6 characters. So everyone was, like, listing characters after that, and so I was just taking what were the most ones I was seeing repetitively, and Kita was way up there. And that was the same thing when I was doing the witch Disney princesses. Mm-hmm. Kita was way up there. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to do Kita then. So I did a Kita witch.
There's a lot of 90s kids who love Atlantis, and you never see her. So.
And then Meg is up there too. So Meg will definitely be in this top 6 because it was just one right after the other.
Yeah.
And then
I was going to ask, is Jane Porter coming?
Jane Porter was listed several times, and so was Thumbelina. So
I've actually never seen it.
Really? It was
Yeah.
one of my favorites, but after rewatching it now as like an adult, after not watching it for a while, I can see its faults, which
I'm
is
like,
really
I love
annoying.
Swan Princess, but like we know it's not a good movie, but like I love it a lot.
I just like that opening sequence a lot. I
Yes.
don't remember them as kids, and so every time I watch it, I'm like, oh yeah, this part's really enjoyable. And
It's
then,
like my favorite part of the movie. It just sort of falls apart as it goes.
well, the characters lose all dimension, really. And even Odette, like, they try to keep her dimension, but like it's just
Yeah.
it's
It's not a Disney movie. Like as much as Don Bluth like made some really great movies, like following the Disney template with his style like didn't work.
no. And then the rotoscoping also like just doesn't hold up over time.
Yeah.
And that was the big difference.
Yeah.
Whereas like in Anastasia, like the movies that hold up are the one, like, it's not the movie because they rotoscope too, but it's the characters that weren't rotoscoped, the ones that were actually animated, like Bartok and the other ones. Those hold up because they're actually like done, and they do the squash and pull and everything.
Yeah.
It's a cryptid. Hello.
I was going to say.
She has the hood down. She's like, don't.
Oh my God, I love it.
Hello back there.
They say hi, Felicia. Hi. Just block her a little bit. Okay, I'll turn it towards the screen. Me.
All right, so if we're doing Zootopia in Animal Crossing style, what does everybody...
I have thoughts on that.
I have thoughts too,
Yeah.
but what does everybody think would be a cool thing for Jaqi to draw?
I think we should do that.
Yeah.
Shot.
I think we all... Yeah, I agree.
Yes. I got a shot right here.
Let's do it.
Oh,
Not
man.
a shot glass.
Yeah. That's a hefty shot. All right.
I measured it. All right.
I feel like this movie was like unexpectedly topical, even though it's ultimately like it's got like themes about bigotry. It also has a lot of themes about bureaucratic incompetence of politicians handling a crisis. So
why is that relevant? I don't.
No reason.
understand.
I said it's an elephant.
Oh, it's irrelevant.
Not get my hair to
It's
do what I want it to.
the elephant in the room, that's for sure.
It
Yeah.
is. Happy
Happy
birthday.
Can I get this lower? Oh, come on.
We should just start doing that whenever anybody says something about addressing the elephant in the room. We should just automatically
Happy
be like,
birthday.
"Happy birthday!" No, did you rewatch the movie today?
I didn't because I'm awful.
I
but
figure you probably knew it really well, so which was why I asked it all.
it's one of our favorites for sure.
So you'll know when I tell you that our most quoted line in this movie, and we probably use this reference more than anyone on the planet, and I say that because there isn't a GIF for it, but it's the best answer. Like when I'm like, oh, like we'll meet so and so at the con, and Neil's like, who? And I'm like, you know, like so and so. We met her, and she was dressed as Ariel that one time, D23, and he says,
I do not recall this beaver. All the time. All the time. And nobody ever knows what the hell I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But my favorite incident of that was when Disney was finishing up their expansion for Galaxy's Edge. At the back of the Hungry Bear restaurant, they added some new wood carvings, like right at the end when you're about to walk into the Galaxy's Edge like pathway. And before it wasn't even open yet. I was just sort of back there like checking out like the art that they had displayed and stuff. And I'm walking back and I'm not with Neil, and I see these brand new carved wooden beavers.
Oh my
I sent him
God.
a picture, and I was like, I do not recall this beaver.
I do not recall this beaver.
I was so happy.
I did want to rewatch it. We got hooked up into Cheer, the cheerleading documentary on Netflix, and we got sucked in. And then before I realized it, I'm like, oh shit, I have to go get ready. So I am ill prepared, but it is one of my all-time favorite movies. I think it's really well done, and I love every little bit of design that went into that. It's a fantastic art book to get to.
The world building is incredible. I love it because there's so many like stupid puns and everything.
We're getting some questions about the beaver line. We should give context to that, which we didn't do.
Oh, yeah. So when Nick and Judy go to the nudist colony and they're talking to Yak,
he's like my favorite.
Who is voiced by Tommy Chong. He's like, oh yeah, I'll take you out to Nangi. She's his yoga instructor. She's an elephant, so she'll remember everything. And then Nangi has no idea what he's talking about. He's like, yeah, Nangi, you remember Emmett Otterton came in here like 3 Wednesdays ago wearing a green cable knit sweater vest? Sweet Windsor knot, real tight.
And she goes, I do not recall this beaver.
And like that
is a weasel. Like,
yeah. Like for some reason that just stuck with us. Like
we think it's hysterical, and I just wish there was a GIF of it so that whenever somebody like when that situation occurs, I could send that response with context in the form of a GIF. I think people would like know exactly what I mean.
Yeah. Well, and somebody up here said, "I'll make the GIF."
Please, Deb,
do it.
A GIF of
yeah,
that.
Save lives.
So much. You have no idea.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to Deb, who asked us to make some masks for her, and in exchange is sending us a ton of cotton so that we can make more to donate. So, thank you.
Yeah.
We're going to have some beautiful masks. I'm very excited.
So, it looks like Jaqi is starting with Judy here, I assume?
Yeah.
Yes. And, like, obviously you're going to do Judy and Nick. But, like, also, can we get some Clawhauser action?
That's what I was going to say. Like, a chubby little Animal Crossing person would be adorable.
And I'd say, like, a little Toot, but he basically is in that aesthetic anyway.
His name is Finnick. Or Fennec.
Hey, November cosplay.
Fennec.
Oh, hey, and Allie's here. Hi, Allie.
Yeah, donut for Clawhauser.
Yeah. I would read that picture book.
Donut for
Clawhauser.
Oh,
donut for Clawhauser.
Wait, is he searching for it the whole time, and then the whole time it was been stuck in his neck folds?
Oh my God.
I mean, I'm in my head. It's like maybe like a pocket for corduroy style book. So maybe he's lost it. Like he thinks it's in there, but he's actually lost it elsewhere, and he has to go on a journey, and he's got to like go into. It would be like if this were an actual picture book, he'd be going into all the different like rooms of the police department. So it would be like a way to introduce police departments to kids. Because ultimately, a pocket for corduroy is teaching you what a department store is.
Which is like a weird thing to need to teach people, I think.
Yeah, but it's just like when you're a little baby, you're just trying to understand how the world works, and picture books like that give you context for teaching in a story, so that like you can later be like, and remember, like you have to if we get lost, you have to go and talk to the person, because like in this book, remember that like Ernie got lost at the mall, and he did that because I had a book like that, the Sesame Street book as a kid.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, the little book about
like
Clawhauser looking for his donut in all of the rooms of the police department would be really cute.
Yeah. Somebody was saying
there you are, you little Dickens.
Yeah. And then somebody was saying they're playing the Disney mobile game, and Judy Hopps is really tough because she throws donuts at you.
In Emoji Blitz, Nick Wilde is like, I wouldn't say the most OP, but like I love his power because you just tap him and he finds moves for you and just does it. Like that's his power.
Slide.
But it also is sometimes bad because like I'll be like, I'm not using any of these powers right now, like the little power up things, and then he'll be like, nope, yes you are. I'm like, no, Nick, that's not what I
wanted. Somebody said they like my Doctor Strange shirt. Thank you. A friend of mine made it. It was for
a one-off,
photo shoot, so it's just a one-off. But yeah, it's like a whole metallic print of the Eye of Agamotto just on the shirt there.
Which we had the actual one on the show the other night.
Yeah.
If you guys weren't there, Michael Giacchino showed that off in his studio.
He had a screen-used Eye of Agamotto.
Oh, I wish I had been there. I'm a huge Doctor Strange fan. So
did I send you the video?
Jealous. No, you did not.
Okay, remind me
but
later.
You will.
I'll send it to you, yeah. I did save it.
What were we saying before we got into a donut for Clawhauser?
Well, we were talking about the different Animal Crossing character adaptations you wanted. And that's what got us there.
Ooh, I think Giselle would be another. Giselle?
Gazelle.
Giselle's a different
Gazelle character. As Giselle.
Oh, there you go. The crossover nobody asked for.
Yeah. That also got me thinking about Alan Tudyk's character, the Duke of Weaseltown.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
And all of those amazing bootleg DVDs, one of which is for a movie that they canceled.
Which one was that?
Let's ask that as a trivia question then.
Ooh, good question.
Let us know in the comments. Do you know what unfinished Disney feature is referenced as one of the DVDs that in the movies that aren't even out yet. And I have to look up what they called it, so give me 1 second.
Yeah, that's interesting, because that's actually, like I was saying, I love the puns that are in this. What was the burrow joke?
Oh, it was the Tri-Burrows or something like that.
Oh, yeah, Judy references something about, something about the Tri-Burrows, which, for those of you who know, like, the different sections of New York are referred to as boroughs, so they're using that in a very punny way.
Yes, Deb, you nailed it. So DKC got the answer right. It's gigantic, and yes, the title was giraffic, and it's the art that they had used as the only released concept art, but with
a squirrel on a giraffe.
Instead of like a Jack and the Beanstalk, like Beanstalk, it's a giraffe's neck.
Yeah.
There's also Floats in 2.
Mm-hmm.
Featuring Anna and Elsa
as otters
on Sven, who
is a moose.
Yeah. Meowana, which is Moana, but she's like a cat.
Mm-hmm.
Wreck-It Rhino, beautiful. Would 100% watch all of these. Pig Hero 6.
That one.
My god, I've never looked at a close-up of the Tangled parody, which is called Wrangled, and I knew it was there, but I didn't realize that it's basically Maximus as Rapunzel.
I've never seen that. I need to look that up.
Oh my god. I'll send you this image right now. It's such a fast shot where they show those.
Oh, yeah. And, again, like, that's, like, some of my favorites in this movie, because they're so, like...
Yeah, that's where this movie really succeeds, is its world building is so thorough and so accurate.
Yeah.
And I like that there's so much more that they didn't
is a Disney universe within the Disney universe, basically.
So I was thinking about that, and that actually might be a good prompt for how we can start this conversation. We know that they're making a Zootopia in Shanghai Disneyland, but, like, what is that going to be? Because they haven't released any information.
That's a good question.
Because my brain immediately went to, I hope they just make, like, Zootopia Disneyland. Like, I hope that they have fun with it. Like, I guess I want to go into Zootopia, but also, like, if one of the attractions was kind of, like, a direct nod to Disney attractions, and that, like, had a spin on it.
Basically, like, Small World, but a bunch of animals, or like something like that, like a dark ride.
Or, like, if they do, like, a virtual, like, any sort of, like, motion simulator. Like, how, I get that, like, the Simpsons ride did it, but, like, they would do it better. You know? And they'd go through, like, a lot of different attractions and so on.
Usually do.
Oh my god, she's so cute.
Is that Gazelle as Giselle?
Yes.
I love it. Oh my god.
I have been looking at so many, like, TikToks and stuff of people posting the little costume art they've done in Animal Crossing. Have you seen any of this?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I've seen some of it, because I've even cosplayed in Animal Crossing at this point.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I didn't realize you could sit there and, like, design your own clothing, and it's cool because you can do it in, like, this very pixelated way, but then it turns it into these nice smooth lines and stuff.
On the one hand, I feel so much FOMO and I want to be doing those things, but on the other hand, I already feel like our days are so full.
I mean,
you would get nothing done. Yeah. I have a hard time already.
Yeah.
And having never played a previous one, like, I only know what I'm missing out on because my friends are posting screenshots.
Yeah.
If everyone was playing World of Warcraft right now, I would have caved weeks ago. Yeah. Like, we would both have accounts.
Well, see, I finally dove back into Breath of the Wild a little bit, but I'm at the point where I'm sort of playing the Animal Crossing of Breath of the Wild, because I'm just doing all these little weird side quests and getting this person. I need some blue mushrooms. Here you go, and then I go find.
Can we please play, like, Luigi's Mansion at some
blue
point?
mushrooms?
Because we need to beat that. But, like, also it's good, like, that you're playing something that isn't time sensitive. You can pause it whenever. Like, the other day, I was, like, trying to get your attention. You're like, hang on, and I was like, okay. But in my head, I was like, if it was really urgent, I know he could pause, and I don't. it's not that urgent that I need to say that, but I was like, it is good that the game that you're playing is something that, like, you can pause and walk away from. Because I know that how frustrating
it's not an MMO, like, where you have to be live playing.
And it's only, like, a few times a year that they do those events, but I know how frustrating it is for you when I'm playing Emoji Blitz when they do the PvP ones, where I can't pause it because there's another person playing.
Yeah. Kat just said an e-ticket train ride through the various sections of
the different zones.
The different zones of Zootopia.
Districts?
The districts.
Yeah.
Yes. That would be cool. I imagine it like Rock and Roller Coaster.
Oh my god.
That's how it would be.
And it just, like, lights up, like, the next one, like the way it does on Rock and Roller Coaster. Yeah. That'd be so cool.
It's like a train ride.
And they'll never do something that intense in Shanghai.
Judy's train ride is, like, what it basically would be. Like, her going from Bunnyborough to Zootopia, and then you get out, and the shop looks like Zootopia, and there's tiny doors and big doors and, all sorts of...
It's also interesting to me because, like, Shanghai, like I was saying, like, they would never do something that intense. They don't have anything that I would consider to be, like, a top-tier e-ticket. Even though they have many e-tickets, they're all incredibly safe and family-friendly.
Yeah. And that might be just sort of culturally
I assumed it was,
more acceptable. Like, they don't want super intense thrill rides there.
Or we could be misjudging that. It is possible that, I mean, I'm not saying we're going to get, like, a high-speed, intense e-ticket that has, like, inversions or something out of the Zootopia land. But it may just be that that's their first wave of opening the park, and if there's no demand, like, where's our scary ride at that stage? Like, why would you lead with it? Yeah, like, we didn't get rides like Everest in the first generation of Animal Kingdom.
The problem with that theory, though, is the timeline it takes to develop those is, like, they have to have that feedback now, and then they'll start building shit in 3 years.
No, for sure, but, like, what I'm saying is, like, when Disney World opened, when Disneyland opened, they didn't have anything even close to what you and I would consider an e-ticket.
Yeah.
And they didn't for many years.
Do we know how big Zootopia land is going to be?
I have literally, like, no concept of what they're doing in that land or how big it's going to be or whether it's going to be super late now or what.
So, Cass says... draw Clawhauser as Bonkers.
Oh my god.
Oh, Bonkers.
But isn't that just literally just drawing Clawhauser?
Skinny Clawhauser if he was running around a lot.
Or, like, just in a different artistic style, I guess.
I feel like, actually, you could do a scene that's Clawhauser, Bonkers, and Roger Rabbit, and Roger's getting booked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then CJ said a trackless police chase ride, and I would like to retract what I said and flip it. I want you are Nick and Judy in the police cruiser chasing Flash as the Rock and Roller Coaster, and then a trackless ride where you're going through the different zones of Zootopia in an almost Small World meets Mystic Manor.
See, I'm the opposite. I know you haven't been on Ratatouille, but using the styling of the Ratatouille attraction, which is, like, there are elements of that in Rise, like, but it's also much more screen heavy on the Ratatouille attraction. You could do a high-speed chase of, like, you're, like, following along with them or whatever, and you could have a lot more going on visually around you. And that way they wouldn't have to, they could just create, like, monolithic, like, building stuff and fill the rest with video, which is what they did for Ratatouille, so that it was just, like, there's some oversized cans and stuff like that, and then everything else is video.
Screens. Yeah.
Which, like, simultaneously, I was, like, kind of let down by that attraction, but also very impressed with how it was done. I just thought they could have gotten more out of it.
It seems very universal to me, and that's something that, like, is a universal gimmick at this point, and I want them to do something else. Like, if Disney did it, they haven't done something like that, but Universal keeps doing that with their big attraction rides.
Yeah.
And I'm over this
I wasn't on it going, this is the Transformers ride. I was on it just going, like, I feel like they could have gotten more out of this without changing how they were doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Judy with her pen.
No,
She's
CJ
so
is
stinking
saying
adorable.
that we should do the train as like a transition between both parks, a la the Hogwarts Express. And I keep wondering, I think Disney has had plans to do things like that and scrapped them multiple times.
Especially, like, Anaheim.
Well, Disney in Florida, remember when we went to D23 and we talked to the Imagineers about Pandora before it opened?
Mm-hmm.
And they were like very like, oh yeah, but don't worry, you're not gonna just like wander into Pandora. You're gonna have to like get there somehow.
Shuttle, and the shuttle.
But they didn't. No, they didn't. They didn't say that.
I'm saying that
was
something like that.
It sounded like that's what they were implying, and I
Yeah.
was going like, are they going to do something like the Hogwarts Express? Because there are major crowd flow issues with doing something like that.
Well,
And then no spoilers, but there are certain things involved in Galaxy's Edge that seemed deeply reminiscent of what they seemed to be implying. And then to follow that, it seems like they're doing exactly that with the Halcyon, because they're going to have transportation between the Halcyon and Batu, so that you don't have to get on like a bus and like completely lose your immersion. So it sounded to me like they were planning to do that on Pandora, and then there was nothing like that. Like literally, you just wander into Pandora.
Well, and here's the difference. Like, I think it'd be a cool idea. Yeah, if you started in Bunnyborough and then you take the shuttle into Zootopia, a la the Hogwarts Express. But Disney would do it different than Universal. Universal's like, we got this one train. It goes over here. It comes back. It goes over here. It comes back. Disney would be like, we have 7 trains. They move like this. They do like a thing, and then nobody can tell where they are. Like,
but even having to board something to get into a land, like the land itself, not part of the attraction,
mm-hmm.
becomes like a huge bottleneck and in some ways a safety concern to me. So what I'm thinking is, what if they did something that was more like a walkable space that created that experience of being on the train, but it would just be like a series of windows through a tunnel, and you could have that experience and you could stop and pause and look at them or keep walking, but still have that moment.
Well, so I think you would have to do it the way they did it in Florida, where you can enter, Universal Florida, where you can enter one side in Diagon Alley and you can enter the other side in, where do you go into? You go into...
Hogsmeade?
Hogsmeade, thank you. And words are hard.
I will not debate you on that.
And then it's an option to go between, or you can like walk around if you really, really want to.
Yeah.
I think that with a more efficient ride system, because again, no spoilers, but they do a similar-ish thing in Rise of the Resistance, and they do it very efficiently.
But you wait 30 minutes to get to that point, and I understand it wouldn't necessarily be like a 30-minute wait, but yeah, there is a bottleneck there, and if there's like, I think it's a matter of finding something between those things,
mm-hmm.
something that could be a continuous boarding type thing, because like, you know, the Wetway People Mover doesn't have a line like that.
That's for...
It's constantly moving.
Right.
Maybe a couple of reasons, but...
No, I mean, like, if you look at the actual ride capacity, though, of that attraction...
Yeah.
And the same boarding system for, you know, Spaceship Earth, which, you know, has a line, but is also slower than some attractions, so...
CJ, I think that having at least 2 trains, because as you're doing this sort of thing, I mean, it really depends on your space, right? Like how far you have to travel.
Yeah, whether we're talking a full train or
determines like how many trains you can have on the track going at once. Because I would imagine that the situation on Batu is 2 to 3.
We have no idea.
We have no idea. And I'm usually really good about figuring how these sort of things work out, and I have no idea.
We need to look at the timing of it, but I don't want to spoil anything about that since it is still such a new attraction.
Yeah.
So let's
All I
move
know
away
is
from
that
that.
there's going to have to be some kind of world immersive ride at some point. But I agree with Sarah. I actually really want some kind of satire going on.
Yeah.
Like I would kill for a small world attraction done in Zootopia world. Like just that
Mm-hmm.
seems
That'd be
at least
adorable.
one. Like the
Um,
tangled bathrooms from Walt Disney World or something done in
oh,
Zootopia
well,
version.
and that's where Shanghai completely destroyed us when we were there because their attention to detail exceeds anything I've ever seen in a Disney park.
Well,
Like,
that seems like when you're talking culturally, I'm like that makes a lot of sense if they don't want to do the high intense rides because they're focused on cute and they do it so exceedingly well, where they know
Mm-hmm.
that that is their market and they know it well and they completely exceed us when it comes to detail like that.
So I think that's partially because of like a similar situation when they were building Tokyo Disney. Then they had the what's it? The Oriental Land Company is that the name of the group that owns that actual
Oh,
space?
I don't
I thought that was
know.
I thought that was Tokyo that was
That's
owned
what I
by
was
a
saying.
different thing. Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, I was saying it's like that where you have them saying like we're just gonna dump money into this thing and make it as amazing as you possibly can. I think Disney as a company finally got to the point where they were like, listen, we're gonna make this big investment, like bigger than anything we've ever done, and we're gonna really do it up right. And
Yeah,
they had
well, because
learned so many lessons from Tokyo, from Paris,
most
from Hong
it
Kong.
was mostly from Hong Kong.
Yeah, that's
Shanghai
okay.
is almost a direct response to the failures of Hong Kong,
Yeah.
where they
Oh, yeah.
realized, okay, this missed the mark. A lot of our guests have been to Disney parks in America. They want something that's new and something that's for them. So Shanghai was a direct response to that. And
Yeah.
that's why we got so many more culturally Chinese moments and areas. It's why they made all that like open space because everyone in China is used to being crammed into small spaces that are overpopulated. So they were like, we're gonna give them a vacation where there's space, and that in and of itself will be beautiful. And then also we're gonna bring like Zen garden elements into that and all of the zodiac signs into the
Yeah.
garden of the 12 friends.
I think it's interesting we're talking about that because I actually was in the Disney office when they were talking about Shanghai and we were helping them, aka helping them as in taking over all of their merchandise because they weren't doing it themselves. So we're working on that. I was not on the predominant Shanghai team, but of course you know that I worked on
Yes.
like a couple things.
Mm-hmm.
And they were talking about like they had a whole culture team that we had to go through. That was just like the whole motto of that entire park is Disney but distinctly Chinese. And so like when I was working on Snow, they're like gold has to be in there. For whatever reason, Snow is their top selling princess. Probably because of her values, but also the really pale skin and dark hair.
Yeah.
But I had to add gold in there. And so her shoes are gold. I tried to get a gold apple on her outfit somewhere. Pricing wise, they took that out, but that was there to add like a gold element and then like gold filigree on there and like
That explains why Snow White has the walkthrough at the top of their castle.
Yeah.
Which was interesting. It was simultaneously like kind of amazing and also I thought fell flat in some other ways.
Well, I think I
that was really something, yeah.
This is like a real ass talk when like you have to pause for a second. Like
Well, I think it's cool in a way because it's the newest park paying homage to the oldest princess and like all of that. But obviously, like you said, there are some other cultural elements that are are taken into account there. I think that the parts where it fell flat are more likely than not just because of maybe a language barrier. That was
it wasn't just that.
There.
It was pacing stuff. It was like, so we're used to the Sleeping Beauty walkthrough in Disneyland, and I've been multiple times to the one in Paris. they're both just free open spaces. Yeah, you kind of can get backed up in the Sleeping Beauty Castle in Disneyland, but it's not like, if you walk around people, it's not a big deal. Mm-hmm. The way the Shanghai scenes were done, it's more like, here we're going to shuffle like 15, 20 people into this small space so you can enjoy a longer show moment. But it kind of, in some ways, like lost some of the magic because it was so like scene with like a large group of people instead of people just being able to like enjoy and marvel at those little moments that are happening. But because, like, on the other hand, like, those scenes were longer, and there were some things, like, technologically that I thought were really cute. Like, when they do Whistle While You Work, it's basically like a diorama with physical props and then a projection screen behind where, like Snow White comes to the window and is, like, singing and stuff. But then there are other little animated elements and animatronics so that, like, dishes start moving and things like that in the sink, and it's, like, a multi-plane kind of effect. So I was going like, oh my God, that's so cute. But also, like, I just wanted to watch that little moment for like 5 minutes. And I didn't need the whole scene, and I didn't need all the people.
Yeah. Is that donut number 2? Is that
Yes. I decided that he needs to be double fisting donuts.
Absolutely.
And that's what makes him so happy now.
There's also a great conversation about the MCU's presence in Shanghai happening in the comments right now.
Yeah. Jack was talking about, like, why isn't there a big presence? And CJ is like, yet.
Yeah. And it's for sure just a yet thing with them, because we know we're getting MCU, like, and then some in every park around the world.
Yeah, I think they just wanted to figure out the American market first, because we would be, like, pissed.
Well, they've already opened the Hong Kong
campus
Iron Man attraction. Mm-hmm. They did that maybe like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was like briefly dating an Imagineer who was like working on the ride programming. So I'm like, when was that? And like I even asked, like, could they port that ride elsewhere? And he's like, it's very specific to Hong Kong. Like, you fly in like you're flying through Hong Kong. And I think that's kind of the overall goal of the MCU experience across the parks, is to create unique experiences for each like park, so that
each location,
the crazy people like us who want to visit all the parks and see all of that will have a reason to.
It's very smart. Yeah.
I'm like, on the one hand, it's nice that like like Galaxy's Edge is cloned, so we don't have 5 billion people trying to squeeze themselves into Disneyland.
No, I wish you visited Batu and then another adjacent off-world planet that was similar, but, had its own kind of vibe.
And, Deb, we do not have any official information on the impact that the quarantine is going to have on the DCA opening. My assumption is it's not happening in July. It's almost impossible for me to imagine that, like, they were planning something for July. They were already planning this as a rolling open, and having to stop all, work, like, there's no way they'll be on time.
Like any sort of programming work that any of these people may be able to do independently is, maybe still happening, but
other than that, I mean,
people aren't in the parks,
and we know like where they were up to production wise. Like, we've seen photos. We were there, peeking over the walls.
and we know that like in general, Disney has been a fan of doing sort of a soft open, and then they kind of sort of just gradually open the land. So,
well, my assumption was that the land itself would be open, but it would have numerous closed attractions, the way Paradise Pier or Pixar Pier was,
or the way that
New Fantasyland did that too. I was there for that launch, and that was slow.
Open for like a year and a half after that, right?
Yeah, and that's why Mine Train is still such a big attraction, because people were barred from it for a long time.
Yeah.
Deb says she begrudgingly agrees with us, but she just wants a Pim pretzel. Yeah, I feel that. I do love me some pretzels, and hey, make them bigger, make them smaller. I don't care. I'll eat all the pretzels at Disneyland.
Oh my God, a bunch of tiny Mickey pretzels.
Oh my God,
that
I would cry.
Adorable. Like a little basket of them.
Except they wouldn't be as like squishy, because they would.
Not with that attitude.
Okay.
Yeah, all of this actually makes me nervous for Halloween Horror Nights because even that could be impacted by this because you have to get the scare actors in there, you have to plan everything, and with everything being down, there's just no way to rehearse, there's no way to do any
Yeah.
of that. So like things way ahead of time, and people have to realize that like parks are planned that far ahead that when it gets
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
disrupted, there's no way. And like
They can't be auditioning for new things right now. They can't be rehearsing for new things right now. This is gonna completely put like any new parades or shows on hold in all theme parks.
Quick pause before you change it. Just throw an idea out there. Is that donut maybe like an old-fashioned donut where it's kind of crinkly, on the edge?
I'm gonna make it a cruller now because that's my dad's favorite.
Oh, there you go.
So
I was gonna say either that or a like a bar, like a maple bar, kind of a yeah.
a bear claw. I'm making it a bear claw
Oh, a
actually.
bear claw. That's
I'm
so,
making it a bear claw.
these are the puns that I love from Zootopia. This is perfect.
There were a lot of jokes that we were like laughing at, like we'd never seen the movie before today.
Oh, it gets me every time. So on the food
Yes. Sorry.
on the food note, we
Always.
talked about we don't know what's in Shanghai, like what's coming up. What would you want to see in Shanghai? I'm sorry, that was knocking
Stop
the table.
shaking the camera.
I flail when I'm excited about food.
I'm like I had to check my camera because I'm hand holding it so you guys can actually see the screen better. And I keep shifting over.
We both do this sometimes. Like if you lean on our table and then gesticulate, it shakes our whole camera situation.
Yeah.
And I'm
that's
like,
such a good word, gesticulate.
I'm
I'm so jonesing now.
if my mom was like in the audience, she'd be like, "I'm getting motion sick from your video," and I'm like, "You'd kind of be the same way if it kept happening." So I know you appreciate the issue.
You are your worst enemy, Neil.
Yeah, I'm like, he's not doing it on purpose.
That's
I'm
true.
just
So many
Sarah,
times.
why are you yelling at Neil?
So anyway, what I was gonna say, we don't know what's going on in Shanghai. What restaurant do you want to see
in
in
Zootopia.
Zootopia Land?
Well, I want the ice cream shop.
You want popsicles?
Yeah, I want, but
Or you want the
I
elephant?
want the elephant ice cream shop, and I also want popsicles.
I want those, but I also want a like satire on like Tony's restaurant or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what animal would Tony be where he's selling spaghetti?
What's an Italian animal?
That's what I was thinking. I'm going like, what is representative of Italy?
Mhm.
Like,
I mean, definitely a donut shop, like a lot of people are saying in there. They better have like a donut stand in there.
Cloudhouser's Donuts.
Yo.
He retires.
on top of this one, he said, an obviously a mole rat run mafia Italian
There
joint.
it is.
And then
Yeah.
that ties into the whole possum mafia, and then
Mama, my grandmama.
someone once told me, we were asking like who would be what Zootopia character, and someone told me I would be the daughter, and I was
Oh
like,
my
I'm
god!
like mildly offended but okay with this at the same time.
You see those leopard print jeggings?
Oh my god!
I'm gonna name her Judy.
Oh my
Speaking of
god.
scenes that we love in this movie, which is like all of them, but
Which is
as soon as Judy walks into her apartment, I like looked at Neil and was like, I love every scene in this apartment, every single one. Like,
My question was, because she walks into her apartment, which is almost not enough space for a small bunny, and then two antelope walk in. They're like, we're loud and we're not going to apologize. I was like, are they living in the same size apartment? Do they have
Probably
like bunk beds? Like, what is going on in that
the
apartment?
schematics.
Do we think, are they brothers? Are they in a relationship? Are they...
They're definitely on top of each other one way or another.
Heyo!
I like, as much as I'd love to be like, oh yeah, that's like a gay couple. I kind of like get like the roommate vibe off of them. They're like, we're rowdy, like
Yeah.
like you
We
don't
like to
usually hear
rage.
like you. It's yes, you could have a couple say that, but it feels much more like a friendship kind of like line of dialogue to me.
Yeah, a little bit. I don't know. I like to give them the benefit of the doubt that maybe they snuck a...
I love representation, but I just feel like we deserve actual representation in movies and not like
So we're not
there
going to
were
give
two
into
women.
it.
standing next to each other in Finding Dory, and therefore they are gay, and not just like people who went to the aquarium together. Like, we deserve better.
Yeah.
We deserve better.
We deserve a Steven Universe level of
yes, exactly.
representation.
Or Legend of Korra, which is one of my all-time favorites.
Oh, yeah?
I didn't realize that show was super gay. I haven't watched Avatar even. Like, I watched like the pilot and
really?
was like, I don't really like this, and walked away.
I'm a huge fan of both shows, and I actually watched that last season of Legend of Korra, and my whole story with it is it came out when I was in college. I fell out of it because the writing in that first season's tough, but it's one of those that you have to get through the first 2 seasons, and the last 2 are like absolutely phenomenal character development wise, and it deals with so much. It deals with like depression, PTSD, all these different issues. And one of the things that you see from the 3rd going into the 4th is this developing relationship between Korra and her friend Asami. And some people try to claim that like they didn't see it coming, and I'm like, no, I watched that episode for episode of that last season. I actually turned to my friend and I'm like, I think this is actually going to happen. They're like, oh no, like you see this in queer baiting and shows all the time. And I'm like, no, they purposely animated her scenes where she would pay attention to Asami first. She would hold Asami and like make sure she was safe first. She would hold her hair and blush when she was near her. Like there was all these things leading up to it. And sure enough, that last one, the writer said, we're going for it. And they alluded to it, but it was a very obvious allusion that they were going into that relationship. And then in the comics now, they have since gone on and they are like, even the writers had to come out and be like, no, like these, they are together. This is a couple. This is for reals. We wrote it this way. This is where it went. And they took that chance despite Nickelodeon trying to stop them on a lot of different levels. So like, I was so proud and happy at that moment. It's one of my favorite series of all time.
And as Jack just said in the comments, damn Chinese government. And yeah, I think South Park handled it really well in their last season, talking about like just really addressing how much Hollywood is putting pressure on everyone to make things like PC, as it were, for China.
Ugh.
And how much that's negatively impacting art that could be progressive because of the bottom line.
Because it's such a big market and they want to appeal to that market and everything. It's a damn shame. But
on a similar note, Adventure Time was alluding to that PB and Marcy relationship for the longest time, and then finally was like, oh, it's on.
Yep.
And we were all like, yeah, here for it.
I'm noticing up there in the top right, Jackie, a space that could, obviously we're sort of running out of time, but
we're waiting for Nick.
I was going to suggest Flash.
Do you want Nick? All right, comment in the comments real quick. Nick or Flash, go.
Nick or Flash. Nick or Flash. Hurry up.
Yeah.
And then she'll work
on
that.
A couple minutes to do it.
We didn't start the stream until like 3 or 4 minutes after, so we've got about 5 minutes left.
We got one
vote for Flash. Another vote for Flash. You're gonna win this one because you said an uncommon character. 3 for Flash. Literally everyone wants Flash. Just do the thing.
Just do the thing.
Nick's great, but everybody's drawn Nick a million times. I
love Nick. Oh, now speaking of everybody's drawn Nick a million times, where do we all stand on the Nick and Judy ship?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, the furry community ships it real hard, but even like
I want to ship it so badly because like friends and all that, but then you have interspecies and like I don't know.
And that's where like the weeb community, like which I would consider an expansion of the fur and like anime communities, kind of like glomming onto each other, and there's a lot of shared opinions there.
Venn diagram there. They're right in the middle.
Has also really embraced it, and I'm not opposed to it. I'm not like that's weird. I'm not like that person. I'm just like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if on the one hand, I'm like, I do want it, like, because they have such an amazing dynamic. Yes, the chemistry.
The chemistry's really good with them.
Specifically that scene where she comes back to him crying and like there really is just a lot of dynamic between them.
Well, and there's so much payoff, and because he's like, when she first meets him, he's like, oh yeah, you're here from Bunnyborough and you're gonna do this for a bit and then you're gonna wind up living under a bridge with a box. And then she goes and finds him living under a bridge effectively, and goes and has to apologize to him. And yeah, that moment, like the chemistry between them is really great. Like,
but now CJ has an excellent point, and it's really what's going on the other side of my brain. So let me read this out. He says, I'm not shipping it. I really love the partnership, the partner and friend dynamic as it is. I'd feel like it would be forced. It's also also woke hot take. It's really important to represent different gender friendships as friendships. And I get that too.
And literally Sarah and I cannot emphasize this enough. Like,
wait, you guys are dating?
Why not? Like this week, people have asked us multiple times if we're married, and I'm like, that's a really specific question.
No,
I don't see no ring on his finger.
Sorry, Sam.
Yeah,
he's not here. He doesn't care. He knows we're not dating.
Yeah, he's very much aware. No, I agree, CJ. I think that despite there being like good chemistry that could, from a writing standpoint, lead to a romantic relationship, I do think it's healthy to show that men and women can be
absolutely
can be friends without there any or men, women, or whatever, non-binary, like all of that. You can have
friends. The other
friends.
side to that argument, though, is that the representation of them as different species is an allegory and
for race,
right? So to say like that this movie is representing that like people with tremendous differences are ultimately the same, there's an argument to be made for that too.
I agree.
So because I'd rather look at like Wreck-It Ralph as being an amazing representation of male friendship, and point to this and be like, well, do I want them to get together like on screen? No. But do I want to ship it a little bit? Yes.
Yeah. I also, their relationship and their kind of getting over each other's faults reminds me a lot of Rapunzel and Flynn, actually. Yes, and so that's why, to me, it really, really reads as that, because they come out, like, just the way that they talk to each other, it reads like that to me. And I agree. I want more writing where there's different gendered friendships. I do, but that's just not how it read to me, unfortunately. Like,
CJ gave us a 2-minute warning because Instagram doesn't.
I appreciate that, CJ.
Me too.
I think that that this movie, like, it addresses a lot of what we would consider race issues or species issues in this film, enough that I don't need to see it in the main couple or in the main, the duo, right? Like, I don't need to see them to get together to show that races can get along,
right? Sort
of a thing. So I think it is a stronger.
I would also watch a movie or a short that was about them dealing with their parents not being okay with it.
Right. I mean, because we already see that Judy's parents are not fans of foxes, right. But then we do see them sort of get over it, and they work with Gideon.
If I were writing a short about this, it would be where they're already accepting, but then Nick's parents aren't, for a total reversal of their dynamic.
Well, and because of what Nick went through as a kid.
Right.
Like, I think that Zootopia 2, if it ever happens, would hopefully, potentially, touch on that. And maybe not even as a relationship thing, but it's Nick's parents are like, why are you working with a bunny? You know what the prey did to you when you were a kid, blah, 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 blah. So
we'd better wrap it up.
Yes, absolutely. CJ was correct.
Jackie, we love you.
I am loving this Flash drawing here.
And for everyone joining us right now, tomorrow night we are going to be talking about Cars with Happy Trigger LA. Following day, we haven't posted it to the Insta story yet, but Swampy Marsh, co-creator of Phineas and Ferb, will be joining us to talk about The Love Bug.
Yeah.
And then Thursday, we're taking off for Passover.
Correct. Tonight, for those of you who don't know, down here, this amazing art by this amazing artist. This is
tap on her name.
Jaqi. Yeah, she's.
Go follow her if you're not.
Jaqi
Please.
Rabbit.
if you're here to watch her, come follow us.
Yeah.
Follow the people.
Please.
Stay safe. Stay home.
Wash your hands.
Don't go outside. Don't go visit your friends for no reason. It's not safe. Wash your hands.
You can video chat with them over Instagram and things like this. Please,
practice social distancing, flatten the curve, and stay safe.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for joining us. And Jackie, thank you for trying. We love you.
Thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure.
As always. I love you guys.
Mwah.
Thank you, everyone.